So the first thing of the top five takeaways, right on. So far, I still got what up, Sina. Everyone else is still figuring out how many years they've been in the business. 10 years, River. Okay, that's why you were there. Look, you guys, this is important for you because when you see that a 10-year veteran, Tessa, who goes to Summit, that's a huge, I guess, confirmation. And she's very successful. Congratulations, by the way. I see you all over the production, the sales, the close. Way to deliver. You own your territory. But if you look at the years of folks that are experienced and go to these types of events, it's kind of a confirmation to remind you that one, if you're new, get a head start by plugging in. And second, if you've been in the business for some while, don't get complacent or assume that they're all the same. Like you've been to them before, so why would I go again? And I share this with you from personal experience. Like I was that person who had that, I'd say maybe uh, not the best mindset when it comes to these events. Because one, I felt like I knew it all, or second, I thought they were all the same, and they're not. So thank you guys for chiming in. 2016 was my first one with Mike Ferry. Wow, you guys, if you right there, the words Mike Ferry, that already shows you of like what a OG this person is, which is Tessa. And Mike Ferry has probably like 70 years on her. So she was probably like 13 going to see Mike Ferry, which is wild. And if you guys think I'm exaggerating, go Google Mike Ferry. No disrespect to Mike Ferry, but Google it. And you'll be like, Tessa was learning from this guy. She was probably like 14, 15 years old. All right. So probably drove to the summit in her driver's permit. So you guys, the first takeaway is how many people prefer to be a top performer or yeah, top performer or top producer versus a high performer? How many people, go ahead and chime in on the chat if you prefer to be a top producer or high performer. Top producer or high performer? High performer, okay. Heather, thank you for that. I see like 30 folks here, at least, what, yeah, there's 30 on, one answer. The rest of us, our keyboard is locked. Maybe the screen is wet. I got you. So you try to type in, it doesn't work. Okay. Top producer. All right. I want to stay top producer, but probably better high performer, top producer. Look at this. This is cool. I appreciate you guys chiming in. And some of you are like in your own mind saying, I'd rather be X. Put it out in the chat because you can't be wrong because this is what you desire. But one of the takeaways, before I share with you uh, maybe an eye-opening moment, is for those of you guys that are willing to unmute, one person unmute, and tell me what do you believe the difference is between a top performer and a high performer, or a top producer and a high performer? Who'd like to unmute and give me the difference? No using AI, no use, someone's trying to use Claude right now. Anybody? No guesses? Unmute. We're salespeople. Let's get out there, huh? Throw your name out there, guys. Nobody? All right, well, you can't be wrong. But let me tell you, I'll share with you the difference from my definition. I've not looked this up, but I was hoping to have some conversation with the folks on today to see the differences. But my definition of a high performer is that a high performer competes with themselves. A top producer competes with the pool of folks that you essentially are compared against or compared with, pooled with. You're the top of some group. So that's top producer. But a high performer, they could be a top producer places. They could also be not a top producer, but maybe someone with great production, but amongst a group of elites that their production doesn't make them the top producer. You guys follow what I'm saying? So now with that understanding, would you rather be a high performer or a top producer? And I know some of you, I think it was Tessa, gave like a disclaimer in there, like I'd rather be the top producer amongst the group, but I'm a high performer at heart. Don't play with me. Like I read that right there. Okay, so you guys, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about having a paradigm shift. It's about seeing things a little bit differently. And when you see things differently, you'll start to have habits that will create different results, right? The second thing, so one is just recognize that high performers, they compete with themselves. And in our industry, ignore all the noise, all the banter, all the such and such agent is doing this, such and such team is doing this. And instead, take a look at your own business and recognize what you're doing that is working, double down on that. What you're doing that's not working, that's either been tested and you know it doesn't work, or make small pivots or adjustments, whether it's in spend or in time, that's going to start to inch you closer to the goal at hand, to what your objective is. Some of us, we either will just listen to what other people are doing and say, well, I got to do that as well. And then you don't get the same results, but you keep doing it because it works for someone else. Or you might be doing something without the full instruction or the greatest of execution. And there's a couple steps that maybe need to be modified. But that's very important that you don't allow the noise of the production of folks around you to distract you from what you got to accomplish, what you need to achieve. Some folks, you do 10, 15 transactions in a year, you're good. You make enough income that you desire, you have a lot of time freedom that you desire, you enjoy your results versus the input. Then other folks, they're doing 40, 50, 70 transactions a year, and that's what drives them. So focus on, in my opinion, being a high performer, holding yourself accountable to making yourself better every day. Take a look at your last quarter. What went well, and what are you going to do differently this quarter or next quarter that's going to let you move the needle? You have to be very intentional in wanting to build your business. How many people believe in luck? Raise your hand or throw in there four leaves clover. Some people, okay, I got again. I got the OG going to the meetings, high performer, also believes in luck. I'm going to challenge that, because one thing that I learned is that the harder I work, the luckier I get. Now, I'm not saying that we might not get a break here and there, but for anybody who feels that the success of an entrepreneur in this business, especially after 2 or 3 years, is credited to luck, they're definitely playing themselves in how that person achieved that success. Consistency, what I have recognized, that luck doesn't usually align with consistency, right? So people can't always be lucky. They're doing something right. Remember that the harder you work, the luckier you get. Let's see. Okay. Luck only works if you're ready. I like that. All right. Hey, man, I'm born ready for luck. Send it to me. The next thing, blogging. How many people on this Zoom blog right now, or transmit data? Okay, I get Tabitha. My blogs are short. I have a couple in there, guys. Ladies, you got to be fired up about what you do, what you throw out there, even if it's mediocre or modest. Compared to what? If you're trying to be a top producer, but it might be great for what you're willing to put in there, and you're happy with the results, right? I mean, how many of us, and I don't want to go off tangent, we'll talk about that in a moment, but blogging, what's really cool is that I know maybe some of us, it's too early to participate, right? We're entrepreneurs, we're agents, we run our own schedule. I start my day at 11 a.m. I had to be on this 9 o'clock Zoom, right? So it's too early for you. But if it's not too early and you're fired up, and you already know what you're going to do by the end of this week and what you're doing next week and how Q4 is going to look for you, or look like you, because it is looking for all of us, but how it's going to look for you. One thing that I would recognize, that when I said how many people are blogging, we had one practitioner, one professional raise their hand. We had a couple of us that are blogging that we don't want anyone to know, right? We're called non-participants for the group, but I'm here to take away a nugget or two, but not give any. All good. And then we have a lot of folks that don't blog at all. So why is this important? It's important because if only one out of maybe 30 are doing that, it's a great indicator to say, wow, maybe I should consider blogging too. Now, why blogging? We have a property management firm named Catalyst Property Management, and one of the greatest feelings, our business, we're in our fourth year, just rolling into our fourth year of business. But one of the greatest feelings is when the office line calls with folks that are calling in to ask about our services. They want to buy a home and need someone to manage it. They have a tenant that's about to, their lease is going to end. They need to get another tenant. They need to do upgrades to their rental. They're looking for another property to add to their portfolio. All of us in this space know the commissions or the income that comes with any of those successful transactions, with any of the transactions that lead to a successful outcome. We can all calculate what the commissions are, and I'm in Orange County. I share this with you because in 23 years of being in business, prior to taking advantage of this second takeaway, blogging, which I know sounds so simple, and it sounds like so outdated, right? Especially those of us that maybe were born in the 80s. Blogging sounded like in the beginning, everyone was a blogger, and then they went missing, and now we're talking about blogging. Well, here's why it's so relevant and important today. Back when we started out with blogging and just throwing out data on a website, and if you guys don't know what blogs are, look them up. I didn't know what they were for years. I just pretended and nodded. Yeah, I got blogs. I had no idea what it was. I'm not gonna lie. So then I was like, oh, it's an article. And I still don't know the difference between an article and a blog, right? Maybe blog means that it's online. I'm educating myself. But what happens is that back then when we just threw out blogs, information that we had or we wanted to share with folks, there was not enough data or tech to pull that information and deploy it in other places for us. I want to give you guys the science and the methodology behind this. Because today, whatever you deploy onto the web, there are systems and AI and tech tools and companies that are fighting at milliseconds to get that data before somebody else. Do you guys believe me or know this or you don't know this? Like, is it too early to talk about this stuff? Well, it's important because if we don't know the why, we're like, well, this is just a waste of my time. But if you understand how it works, that's why if you guys have been on these master classes with me in the past or prior ones, I talk about voice tools like Alexa and like Google and Siri. Those are like the top three voice tools. And right now, all your devices turned on, right? So if you guys have a Google, hey Google, play some hardcore rap music. You guys are all in trouble if it just heard that. That wasn't nice. Hey Google, I'm just kidding. Stop. All right. Hey Google, stop. Hey Google, stop. Cancel. Hey Google, cancel. All right. So the reason why blogging is so important, man, none of you guys got that. If you guys have a home device, it's all going crazy at your houses. I got three people that understood what happened, so you guys must have it. The reason why this is important is because now when you blog, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, and these other likes, DeepSeek, they all start to pull this data. And if you have enough of this information, it gets deployed on this when other folks, consumers, go to search who is the top agent in Riverside? Who is a experienced agent in, give me a city if you guys want to shout out your city, right? Who is an experienced city in XYZ, right? Where can I buy the nicest house off of Sizzix Road, right? I don't know where it is. You guys know where Sizzix is? No, okay. Too early for you guys. So the reason why this blogging is important is because in Corona, there we go. Again, the high performing top producer, right, who started blogging years ago and saw Mike Ferry in Corona, Eastville. Shout out Tessa, right? So the reason though this is important is because if you're not blogging, then you're missing out on incoming leads. You're missing out on people that are going to go seek and search. And if you're wondering, well, Sina, what do I blog about? Who wants to read anything about what I can share when they can go to Google and find it already? Or when they go to their phone and find it already? Just think about that statement. First thing is use Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, or any of the AI tools that you prefer. Go in there and say, give me 5 blogs that are 300 words or less that are relevant to real estate in the city of Corona. That's it. Like I just gave you the prompt to 5 blogs. Now don't go in there and say, well, Sina, I'll ask for 100. Okay. You're not cheating and you're not coming up. No, you're asking for too much stuff that won't be relevant than you asking for like 5 blogs a week or 5 blogs every other week or 10 blogs a week and then getting current data. And it gives it to you. Then reword it, change some words and use it as yours. Or throw it up there and then credit the AI, whatever you want. But there is an easy, simple way. And if you're saying, well, what does that do for me? If people already will Google this info and find it, what does it do for me if I throw it up there? I'm going to tell you guys some things that's going to blow your mind before this meeting is over. Okay. I got 13 minutes. And when I learned what I'm going to share with you, I said to myself, shame on me. Shame on Sina. Why? Because I spent years in 2018 is when I went all in on social media. So for those of you guys that are like new to this stuff and you're like, it's too late for me, 2018 isn't that long ago. And I'm also in my 40s, right? So I'm not like 25 years old. And I was like, okay, I know how to do this. I had to learn. I had to learn how to follow people. I followed some people and I didn't know how to unfollow them. I'm like, shit, I got to unfollow these people, right? Like, this is how new I was. Calling it out, right? I'm from like MySpace. Friendster. I'm from Friendster. You guys know what Friendster is? Anybody? Like they're like, what is that? That's how social there we go. See, that's the social media that I'm used to. Friendster. See, even Bob knows Friendster. He's like, yeah, I remember Friendster. I was having some friends out there. Okay. So I'm new to social media because after Friendster failed, so did my social media plans, right? I'm like, this is dumb. 2018 is when I went back in. Go look at my Meta or Facebook. It's like a 2019 new profile, something like that. Then there's those of us that have been doing this for a long time. What's really important is to recognize that if you go to, for example, your Google, if you go to Google and you type in any question that's not specific on who is the top agent, but for example, uh, where is it when's the best time to buy a house in Corona? Or what is the return on investment in Corona for the last 3 years? What is the average how is the city of Corona developed in the last what is Corona's future expansion plans? Tell me about these are all these one-off questions. That's not specifically about finding an agent, right? They're about learning about an area. What I learned, this is when I say shame on me, because I deployed so much content that I thought I was going to accomplish what I learned that I'm going to share with you guys. But there are agents in cities, like for example, Big Bear. Okay. Anyone on the call from Big Bear here? No? I know you guys will do business in Big Bear because it's close enough. But whatever city you want to choose, there are cities and small select few. I don't know how many cities there are in the United States. Anyone know how many cities there are in the US? Any guesses? No? Are you guys awake? Okay. So um in the highlights, take that question out because that's not good for the highlights. As far as the cities that you want to look up or that you want to dominate, if you look up these questions that I gave you as an example and then put in the city, like for example, Big Bear, for some cities, the first three answers on Google search results, links, will take you to a blog of the same agent. This is what was amazing to me. So what that means is that if someone wants to move to, let's say, Paso Robles, anyone heard of Paso Robles? Anyone heard of Paso Robles? Is it Robles or Robles? How you say Paso Robles? No? Anybody help me? All right. So
Robles.
anyone? What is it? I heard someone on mute. Paso Robles or Robles?
Robles.
Robles.
Robles. Thank you. I was saying Paso Robles. Then when I was there, all the locals were like, "Welcome to Paso Robles." Was it Robles? All right. So Paso Robles. I was looking at Paso Robles to find some investment property there, and I was asking like 20 questions to chat and Google just at different times of the day in my research, in my due diligence. And if you do that, you get like the answers from the top 3 or 4 consistent names and agents. It's a market that's really tough to probably become number one in. However, I share this detail with you because blogging allows you to do that. How many people want leads from AI? Anybody? How many people use AI? If you use AI for answers for yourself, imagine the value if your consumers went to AI and used it and found you. That's exactly what's happening through blogging. And you know how much it cost? That's right. Someone said free 99. That's right. That's right. Free 99. What was that? Jason? If it ain't free, it ain't me. He's right. Okay. So, guys, blogging will lead to leads. Blogging will lead you to being visible on AI. Third takeaway, YouTube. Now, we've heard this: make video, make video, make video, make video. Many of us, we're already doing great reels. Our stories are always being posted. But what most of us are not doing is all that effort that you're throwing in reels, just throw it into YouTube and make it a YouTube short. By the way, how many people don't have a YouTube channel on here? Nothing's wrong with it if you don't. But if you don't, the opportunity is great for you because it's still available. It's still available. Creating your own channel, going to YouTube, log in, create a profile. Well, you already have a profile as a Gmail, but you go in there and you create a channel and you start filling it with your data, your name, your contact, the industry, your website. It's just like, for example, Instagram, but it's just so make sure if you don't already have a YouTube channel, go in there, commit. One takeaway from this mastermind, if I could grab you in a nice way on the shoulders without HR arresting me and firing me and shaking you as a friend, I would say start a YouTube channel. Start a YouTube channel. I'm going to tell you why, the science behind it. When you want to find something, where do you go? You go to Google. Some of you might have said, no, we go to YouTube. Maybe you do. But when you want to find something, you go to Google and you Google it. When you hit enter, If there's a video about it, the very first link will be YouTube. If there's no videos about it, the very first link will be a blog. That's crazy. That's crazy. It was as if I set up that whole like tagline. But think about that. So you have to ask yourself, if I'm an entrepreneur, if I'm a small business, if I'm a big business, if I'm an entrepreneur, if I dictate my own income, if I want to increase my rate per hour, if I want to increase my value, how do I do it? Get on YouTube, create blogs. Don't say, I got to buy more leads. Yes, you can buy more leads if you got more money. But would you rather buy leads forever or create a system that creates leads forever? And even if we got rid of the word forever, would you rather buy leads or have a system that creates leads? I mean, that's the question you gotta ask yourself. And all of us are saying, I'd rather have a system that creates leads. Then the blocker is, I don't know what to do, or I can't afford it. Well, let me give you the answer. Start blogging. And if you're like, I don't know what to say, ask AI. And then the other one is create a YouTube channel. And if you're like, I don't want to make videos, I'm going to tell you, if you don't want to make videos, even though I'm against this, it's maybe because you don't want to be in them yourself. That, in my opinion, it's not a lack of confidence. Okay. It's an ego issue. It's an ego issue. And I'm not going to tell you guys to write any words down, but I would write this down. Your ego is not your amigo. All right. Your ego is not your amigo. That's a fact. Now, why do I share this with you? Because I don't enjoy making videos. I don't. This might sound like I'm having a lot of fun right now. I actually am because I do enjoy pouring into other people, but I don't like to make videos. I don't enjoy to make videos, but I know that it's necessary for people to know who I am, what I look like, what I sound like, and the value that I can bring in a short amount of time. And it doesn't cost me anything. So why am I not going to do it? If I'm not going to do it, it's because I don't like the way people are going to respond to me on camera. I don't like my friends, family, or better yet, strangers that give zero Fs about me and I don't know them. I'm worried about what they're going to comment, say, or tell me, or share with others about my video. My lip is crooked. I blink a lot when I do it. I stutter. By the way, all three of these things are things that I did for the first 6 to 9 months of making video. My lip was crooked. My eye would keep blinking and I would stutter. It was a nervous trigger because I was scared. I was scared that my ego was going to get destroyed. I was scared that I was going to be offended. And you know what? I probably was scared, but I gave zero Fs, right? I didn't care. I didn't care because the last I checked, none of those people are going to pay my bills. And none of those people are going to build my dreams. And I also told myself, if Instagram charged me to make these videos, could I afford to make them? And I probably couldn't at the time. So I said, shit, it's free. If it ain't free, it ain't me. And I keep telling all the folks that I surround myself with that don't take advantage. I said, imagine if you had to pay to deploy those videos. How many could you afford and how many would you do? You might do a few because you got to be relevant, but it's free and we're not taking advantage of it. So take advantage of it. Now, if you guys don't want to put yourselves in the video, then here's the like plan B or the side option. But if we're agents and our face like or our energy sells, it's kind of a weak choice to do plan B. But plan B is just use AI, just use voiceovers all the time. However, if you're using voiceovers, it takes away from your selling ability of who you are to your clients. Okay. So think about that, but you need a YouTube video. The fourth takeaway, AI agents. We're entering an era that's called agentric. Agentric means that we're all going to have agents that will do things for us. Okay. And they're AI agents. All of the AI tools that we use on the paid versions, the $20 that they want from us per month, which I want you to know it is a deal. It's not cheap if you don't have any money or you're struggling, but what these tools are giving us, it's worth thousands of dollars a month per person. Like people undermine what 20 bucks gets you on this tool, but they're willing to pay for a verification tag or to be a whatever blue member, like the blue star. Like are you crazy? Like, no disrespect. You'd rather pay for verification for people to know that you got a blue check than $20 for a tool that's going to do everything for you and like smoke what verification results get you. Just to give you like a little side nugget of like, if you don't have the paid version, here's a reason why not to. So anyway, AI agents on all the paid versions, you can go to YouTube or you can use any chat tool and ask, how do I make an AI agent? But they're free and you can make as many as you want. And AI agents will do work for you in the back end while you're doing work in the front end. Okay. And it's too detailed to go over in the 2 minutes that I have left. Those are 4 takeaways. Then the fifth takeaway is, let me give you the top 7 traits of high performers real quick. Okay. One is that they wake up early. They wake up early, and it's because they're naturally curious. That's the fact. They're naturally curious. Second, they value their time. They value their time and they believe in using systems over memory. Super powerful. They value their time. So they don't keep repeating stuff that could have been automated or done in a system. They also believe in being productive versus busy. There's a big difference. 3 is that listings must be monetized. Meaning you don't just do a list and it's like, great, I'm done. You got the listing, you got 5 to 7 to 10 ways to make more income because you got that listing and get more clients. Like you use your inventory like to the max. 4, all high performers are excellent storytellers. They know how to tell a story. They know how to bring you in. They know how to create emotion. And you're not born with this. You build it. You learn it. Role play every day with your AI tool, with ChatGPT, with Claude. Role play with them every day on stories and how and give chat a story about your experience on the previous day and ask it, how better can I deliver this same story next time? This is how you become lucky. This is how you become lucky. This is how you become Tessa. Sorry, didn't want to throw you out there. Sorry, Tessa. 5, they surround themselves in creative environments. Creative environments. So if you're in an environment that's not creative, ask yourself 2 things. One is, are you providing value to the team? Like, are you being creative? And then secondly, why aren't the rest of the people? If you're not doing it, then you're surrounding yourself with people that you're real comfortable with doing the same thing. But if you're providing value and that environment's not returning it, find a group that is. Because creative environments create massive success. 6 is they build their confidence. They know they're lacking somewhere, they build it. They work towards it. They're good with getting kicked in the face. They're okay with being objected against and having overcome the challenge. And then 7 is that their work equals pleasure. They end up loving the craft. They love what they do. You guys, thank you so much for spending this morning with me. My name is Sina Azari. If we have not connected out there on Instagram, let's connect on Instagram. If you use LinkedIn, on LinkedIn, and any way I can help you take advantage of these 5 takeaways, reach out to me. I got your back. Have a great week. Emily and team, it was great to see you. Can I get a
Tina,
wave,
you're
a thumbs
amazing.
up?
Thank you.
Can I get a little bit of love before we all say, and a little bit of energy from the 30 faces I'm looking at? Yeah, even the stills, y'all. Even the still faces. I see you out there. Peter, I see you. Matt, Luigi, Andrea, you guys be safe. Good to see you. Bye.